Hello everybody, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a while since I've been on here. I've just been sadly busy. I want to talk to you today about the power of your own stories. Because everything in this world that holds you back, moves you forward, empowers you, disempowers you, makes you happy, makes you sad, makes you positive, makes you negative, is all contained within the story that you tell you. And I do want to do a quick little sidebar here. In May, I will be doing webinars and launching my very first online course. I'm so excited about it, talking about owning your stories and healing the childhood shadow imprints that are buried within to help you find your gift, to find the power of your gift. Because you have to understand the stories are the stories you've created. Nobody else has created your story. And I know I've told you guys this before, you get two people raised in the exact same family, and one will be, have very bad outcomes in their life, and the other one will have great outcomes. And you'll ask what happened, and one will say, well, look at my parents. And the other one says, look at my parents. Because it's the story they told themselves. Because it's the story of how you view every circumstance that has happened to you, is happening to you, and will happen to you. So the power of your healing is looking at your stories, digging deep within to see where did it come from. Because within these stories, within your overarching story, your go-to story, your pitiful me story, the oh my gosh story, why the beep did this have to happen, is your gift. And we spend years and years and decades looking for our gifts when they're wrapped right there in plain sight, right there in the stories that we tell each other or tell ourselves. But we buy into these stories. We believe that they come from other people. And I guess in a way they do, because it's people's comments about us, it's people's view of us, that we internalize and take it as truth. When it's their perception of us. It's the outcome when you get pushed off a wall and you smash your face up right before picture day. You can look at it 20 years ago and say, well, I have scars on my nose and my face because I was pushed off a wall, violently pushed. Or you could have the scars on your face and nose and say, yeah, a bunch of us were in the driveway screwing around and I slipped off the wall and messed up my face the day before picture day, and no, it wasn't a good outcome for my parents. They weren't pleased about it. It's the view of it. If you ask my sister the same thing, and I was the one that actually fell off the wall and cut my face. If you ask my sister, she'll be like, I thought somebody pushed you. I thought so-and-so, no, we won't say their names, pushed you off the wall. The boy next door, though, if you know who you are, that lived next door, we were on Catalina. She goes, I thought he pushed you. I said, no, don't remember we were all kind of screwing around, and I was the smallest because at the time, I was always the youngest. I was the smallest and I got knocked off the wall, when we had a driveway that went down and I fell into it and cut my face out. It's the view of the story. Now I could have taken that story and been, oh my gosh, these people pushed me down and my face was hurt and I had to go get the stitches. That's what we do with our stories. We magnify them. We make them worse than what they are. And who knows why? It's just how we deal with circumstances. And as we age and we keep telling ourselves the same story over and over and over and over, the story gets changed. And a lot of times for the worse, until you're really ready to sit down and look at the story. And the pushing off the wall story isn't the big story. The big story could be contained in another story way back when, or a story moving forward. Because the story is our beliefs. Our beliefs about ourselves and our beliefs about the world around us, about our friends, about our enemies, about everything. The beliefs come from these stories. So if you're a suspicious person, your stories are suspicious. If you're kind of an Eeyore, why is everybody always picking on me story, if you look at your stories, they're all Eeyore-ish. But the amazing thing is about the human brain is you can change these stories. You can reframe them, you can rethink them. You can look within and figure out what really happened and why did you bury it within? Why did you pick that story out of everything that happened to you in life? Why did you pick that story to focus on? And that, my friends, is where the amazement is. That's where your soul is. That's where your essence is. Because what made you pick that one story? Now, sure, you have all kinds of stories that you tell yourself. It could be about gym class. It could be about a date you were on. It could be about the friend that you knew 30 years ago. It could have been, you know, when you weren't picked on to be on the volleyball team. Or, you know, it was an event and they were handing out roses and somebody, you know, nobody ever handed you a rose, or anything. So you have all these stories that happen throughout your life, but you have an overarching story. You have your go-to story. Your poor, poor, pitiful me story. And I have one. I mean, we all have one. And it's where our comfort is. Because we're comfortable in that story because we've told ourselves that so much. It's an old friend. And then you sit down and you know, again, you're talking to a sibling about the story and they're looking at you like, that isn't what happened. I don't know what you're smoking. But to you, that's what happened. And that's where your beliefs got formed, your values got formed, and your view of the world got formed. And so when you wake up one day and you're 48, 50, 55, and you're looking at your life thinking, how in the heck did I get here? And why do I feel unfulfilled? Why do I feel like I never accomplished my dreams? Look at the story you told yourself. The story that said, I can't apply for that job, I have to take care of my children. I can't do this because I have to take care of my children. I can't do that because I have to take care of my children. And sure, that could have been true, but you could be looking at your husband and he would be like, I took care of the kids too. You know, it was a 50-50 deal. Or I did this and you did that. But for whatever reason, over the years, you told yourself a different story. And I argue that sometimes that's where divorce comes from. You know, one little incident happens and in our minds it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and turns into this huge snowball that neither one can overcome because you bought into your story. And again, we all buy into our stories. But as long as you hold on to the story, you're always going to feel shame. You're always going to feel unfulfilled. You're always going to be seeking answers. And you're not going to know why. You're going to always be looking out thinking, what is missing? What aren't I doing? And it's because the stories you tell yourself. So the next couple months, I'll really be focusing on this topic. And when my online course comes out in mid-May, I want to say May 14th, when my online course comes out, I'm going to strongly encourage everyone to get it because it's going to spotlight just on your stories that you tell yourself and how to heal those stories. Because take it from somebody that's been through these healings, that, you know, poor, poor, pitiful story, me story isn't pitiful me anymore. My stories are empowered. My stories support me because I learned how to heal them. I learned how to walk comfortably in them, and I learned how to seek the truth so I could feel fulfilled. And when you feel fulfilled, you can go around and help other people. You can become a mentor because you've been there. You found your way. So look within your story, and that's where your gold is. That's where your gift is. So look at the stories you tell yourself and make notes and look and say, okay, is this really the truth? And say it is the truth. Say you have a horrible story, and I've got some bad ones. I chose to view them differently. I chose to take the power from the abuser and give it to myself. And you can do that, and I will teach you how. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am here to help you figure these stories out. I want you to walk with power. I want you to own who you are, and I want you to stand up and feel like Wonder Woman. I want you to be able to stand up and say, this is who I am, damn it, and nobody can knock me off who I am, and I am proud of it. Have a great day. Sharing is caring. Share this with all your friends. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments below. You can send me a message, my messenger set up, message me, email me, whatever I can do to help you with your stories, to empower you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.